Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, and I'm bringing you probably my ultimate snapshot. Well, I guess not a snapshot. This is the 1.8 first look. So this is probably one of the biggest ones I've ever done, and I've tried covering everything. I mean, this snapshot or the 1.8 has been in the works for almost a whole year. I think it was just around Christmas that they started working on it. So we've got so much to cover, and we're going to go through it fast, but hopefully it's complete and has everything you could ever want to see and know about. So to start off, we're going to talk about some new blocks, and I kind of started doing this as snapshots were released and stuff. I was building parts and pieces of this. But then something's changed, and so it's kind of a mess, but it's everything that I could remember. So the first thing we're going to go over is slime blocks, and they're really easy to make. It's simply 9 slime balls makes 1 slime block, and you can also reverse craft it. You can put a slime block in your crafting area, and you get back 9 slime balls. Now, some things about the slime block is soul sand. We'll just kind of walk sideways here. We move really slow on soul sand. We even move slower on slime blocks. So maybe it's because they're sticky or something. For those of you who don't know it though, slime blocks are very bouncy. So if we come here and well, let's just do this real quick. So the other thing is when you fall down on a slime block or jump down, you take no fall damage, and you actually bounce up, relatively high. So our first bounce is roughly right there, second bounce, and third bounce, and fourth. So you slowly, your bounce decreases. It's not just always high. So let's do this real quick. Walk down here. There's our first bounce sign and our second bounce sign, and so on and so forth. So it gets a little lower, lower, lower. Now you can hold the space bar and you still won't take damage, but you will not do the high bounce. You'll almost instantly do the small bounce. So we're gonna do that real quick. We're gonna walk this way, and we're gonna back up and hold space. And as you see, we just did a small little bounce. So it's a quick way of getting off those. And of course it's gonna start raining. I have it set, so we're not going to have nighttime. Alright, the next thing we have is new blocks. We have Diorite and Andesite and Granite. And these are just found in the world. They look just like these guys right here. And you can craft them to make them polished. So they have these nice little polished versions. To make the polished version, you simply put 4 of the block in a thing, and you get 4 polished. Now you can also make these. They're really abundant in the world, but if for some reason you wanted to make them, you can simply take 2 nether quartz and 2 cobblestone, and that will yield you 2 diorite. For the andesite, it's just 1 cobblestone and 1 diorite will get you 1 andesite, and as you can see here, that gives you your polished andesite. Doing 4 of those. And then granite is 1 nether quartz and 1 diorite, and that gives you 1 granite. 4 granite once again gives you 4 polished. We've had these blocks in the game forever. However, now they have crafting recipes, so you can put vines in with stone brick, and you get the mossy stone brick. You can now make these circle stones, which were usually, or chiseled stone, I guess what it's called, by taking 2 stone brick slabs, and that makes that. So these you used to only be able to find pretty much in jungle temples. I'm trying to think if anywhere else. I think that's pretty much it. I don't even think they were in strongholds. And then we have cracked stone brick. All you have to do is take stone brick like this and put it in a furnace with some fuel, and it will yield you some cracked stone brick. Then the mossy cobblestone, simply a vine cobblestone, gives you one moss cobblestone. Do they call it moss? They do moss stone. And whoop, right here, whoop, you can see cracked stone brick. Now another big change that has happened in the game is with enchanting. And let's just do, let's do it like this. So enchanting, I think, is really good. We finally have a better use for lapis other than decoration. So if you go into your enchanting table, now there's this little block right here, or box. So if you put a sword in there or something, no matter what other sword you put in there, you're going to get these three. The only way to change that is actually do an enchant on something else. So as you can see, Bane Arthropods 1, Sharpness 2, Unbreaking 3. Now this little number here is directly related to how much of your, I believe that's how much of your lapis you need in there. So if we want 3. Now this also gives you multiple other enchants. I think it might be 1 there too, or something. I don't know the exact numbers and the technology behind it, but I've been trying to find out more and more. So if we do this and we want Unbreaking 3, we click it. Oh, it's not going to take our lapis though, is it? So as you see, we got Sharpness 3, Unbreaking 3. I think it'll take our lapis if we're not in creative. Hold on just 1 second. Game mode 0. Okay, but now we don't have XP. XP add 2000 maybe. No. Oh, XP is not add. I think it's. I can't remember the command for this. XP amount player. Okay, there we go. So if we say we want, let's give us 200. So let's do XP amount 200 with an L for level and player T4. Alright, so now you see we have 218 because we need that. Alright, so now if we do this, you'll see, now this is what I wanted to show you. So that unlocks all 3. So here we have, this will give us 3 enchantment levels. That's what it was. This gives us 2 enchantment levels, 1 enchantment level. So this will just give you knockback. This will be smite 3 and something else. This should be, oh, that's not 100% right. I might have to look into that a little bit. 3 enchantment levels. So now as you see, it's Unbreaking, Smite, and Knockback. Now if I were to put a different sword in there, Knockback, Smite, Unbreaking, you'll see it's all the same. So no matter how many times I put a new sword in there, it's going to be those same 3. The only way to change it is throw something else in there and say we want a Fortune 3 axe. Now it will reset, so now we have Knockback, Smite. Is that the same 3? I don't think it was. Knockback, Smite, Unbreaking. Let's try that once more, because that's the way it said it did it. Efficiency, Unbreaking, Smite, Smite 2. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, that's the only way. If I keep putting other swords in here, it's still Bane Arthropods and so on and so forth. So this is going to make it a little easier for us to get, say we really want Silk Touch. We might be able to find Silk Touch as one of these main ones. And if not, we can always throw something else in there that has Silk Touch. And now I'm breaking efficiency. So if we do that, we got Fortune. Let's do that. Whoops, that's enchanted already. So anyway, enchanting's changed, which is kind of nice. So Smite 4. And now if we do that, we can get something else. Unbreaking 3. And that only gives Unbreaking 3. Fortune. So anyway, that's the changes to enchanting. It's pretty cool. It takes a little bit getting used to, but overall it's kind of nice because instead of just having the funky little glyphs, you actually have a way of kind of understanding what at least one of the enchants you're going to get. Alright, so our next thing we're going to talk about, and we should probably go back to game mode 1, is villagers. So if you look at this villager and this villager, normally you'd say they're the same. In fact, I think even this villager, you would think they're all the same. However, now they have sub-professions. So you have your normal villager, I think is what these guys used to be called. In fact, even him, all 4 of these. But now the white guy, we've always known him as the librarian. He's still the librarian, but it actually tells you. The brown guy was just villager, I believe. Didn't say anything, but now there's actually sub-classifications. We have a Fletcher who will specialize in bows and stuff like that. We have a farmer who specializes in food, and you'll notice that you actually can choose right off the get-go 1 to 4, I think it is, things to trade. And you no longer, to unlock a new trade, you don't have to unlock the last trade, which is kind of nice. So here we have a fisherman. So as you can see, he's dealing more with, you know, things you get fishing. Although I don't know how coal is related to fish, but who knows. If you give him 6 fish and an emerald, he'll cook it for you. Not very good. We have a shepherd, that's his speciality, shepherd stuff. A butcher, we've had the butcher before. The butcher and leather worker. So our leather worker obviously is going to give you leather stuff. As you can see, they're the same villager, but sub-classifications. We have a weaponsmith. We have a toolsmith. And we have an armorer. And they all do their different thing. Armor, of course, he's going to do your tools and stuff, and he's going to do weapons. And then we also have our cleric. Now, I'm not sure how new this is, but there is a chance that you can actually get XP bottles from the cleric, where you can buy and sell XP bottles. The next thing we have here is now, and we'll jump back into not creative. 0? Nope. Not 0. There we go. So now, renaming items, it used to be really expensive, but now renaming any item is just 1, and you can rename it more than once. Of course, now it's 2. I think it goes up each time. I'm not sure. Yeah, 4. So it kind of doubles each time. So you won't want to rename things a billion times. You see that, Enderman? Oh, there he is. So that's one little set. Oh, I'm not in creative anymore. 1. All right, and now we're gonna go, and I just kind of did little rows here of things. So this next thing, usually my my snapshot first looks and stuff like that only focus on things that are in survival. However, we're gonna cover some things in that next row right there that are not survival. So I just want to give you a heads up. So here we have changes to the furnace. So now if you put in something and you don't have enough to do a whole item, the arrow will actually reverse slowly instead of where it used to just stop, disappear and stuff. Now it will reverse at twice the cooking speed. So, you know, if this takes 6 seconds to get where it is, it's going to take 3 seconds to reverse. So it gives you a little bit of extra time, just a little way to reserve some of your cooking. Also, if you overcook something, and I might go over this, I can't remember if I talk about this somewhere else. If we cook something and then we have extra thing left, this probably isn't a good example. Maybe we needed a coal. Let's do this real quick. Let's grab a coal. A stick was a bad example there. So if you put something in, like 1 piece of coal will cook 8 of these guys, or yields 8 items. If you put it in, and normally what would happen is it would just go away, but now it kind of pauses. It does fade really slowly, but it puts it on a pause right now, so more or less. Our next thing, is not, I mean, of course, it's the item frame, and they've made it so it outputs a signal. And that's because now an item frame can hold, the item can turn in 8 different directions, and the signal is increased by 1 for each direction. So when it's in right here like that, that's outputting a signal of 1. Then we have 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. So you can see everything's lit up. So you can use these for combinations or something so that the right amount of a signal is actually output for certain things. So really cool. Now we were talking about our villagers over here, the normal villagers, the farmer, the fisherman, the shepherd, and the butcher. When a village is formed, if there are farms, farmers will spawn also, and they will auto-harvest crops. They're not doing it right now. This guy looks like he has just a little bit ago. I've also been doing some experimenting over here, so ignore this thing with the villager breeding. It's changed quite a bit, it seems. No longer does something like this works, where you have the guy up there with 9 doors, which consists of a village, which makes these guys all excited and happy, and they start breeding. I've had no babies. What they do is this guy, like, he'll harvest this wheat, he'll turn it into bread and throw it to the other guy, and that makes them all happy and stuff. But anyway, and it used to be that when they farmed something, what they replanted was random. But so far, and it might be that they actually have slots, which is my suspicion, is they actually have slots on them, and when they gather seeds, it's saved there, and then they can plant with those seeds, because if they don't have any seeds, they can't plant. So it's not like if you just have a farmer, you're going to instantly have farms of everything. They actually have to have the seeds and stuff on them first. Alright, and now coming over to this, we're going to ignore this guy, and this is some more testing on farmers and stuff. I have 2 farmers and a bunch of doors, and I've been throwing bread at them and carrots and everything. In one of the snapshots, it was that if you throw 3 bread to each person, they will breed. It doesn't seem to do that much anymore. Next thing we have here is shrubs in the shrubs in desert will now burn. So yeah, you can see it catch fire. Also, buttons can be placed on the top of blocks and under blocks, and they work just great. Over here, we have a dispenser that has pumpkin heads in it, and right here we have some snow and some iron blocks. So can you guess what we're gonna do? If you said, you can now use a dispenser to build your snowman. So if we do this, it'll dispense the head on there, and boom, there he is, Frosty. And you can do the same with iron golems. Oop, right there, and bam. So pretty cool stuff. Also, I've read, sorry bro, where is that? Let's grab one of these. I heard that, I don't think this works with these guys, but like withers and stuff, oh, it did work. It no longer has to be vertical straight up and down. It can actually be lying on the ground. So pretty cool stuff. You know, let's go ahead and put all that away. We don't need this stuff either. Alright, now moving on to our next little area. Okay, and this is the part I was talking about, that usually everything I do is based off of survival. However, this little guy is not. This is the new block, the invisible block, also called the barrier. Now, you have to spawn these in, but the cool thing is, if you're holding a barrier in your hand, you can see barriers, and barriers can hold items on them. They also pass redstone through them. If we move over the barrier, now you can actually see the barrier block. And as you can see, it's able to pass redstone through it. It's able to place items on it, and it makes it so you cannot, you know, go through it. So more, oh my heavens, really? Where's my toggle downfall? I guess I could have typed it faster. So anyway, yeah, the barrier block, it is not craftable in game. If we move on over here, we have books. So now if you write a book, you can now copy them. You can make at least 8 copies. If I put this in a crafting area and then put my little book like that in the middle, I would get 9 books. And the reason it's 9 is because you get to keep your original. So if I put books, you know, and this is shapeless, and I put that guy, you'll see I get 3 books. However, I do also get my original, so I'm making 3 copies of my book. And there's my original. So very cool stuff. Next is just a little thing. If we have activator rails, I think that's what that is, right? Yeah, activator rails. Now, when a powered activator rail is hit, it causes the minecart to shake, which will knock a person out. So if we do this, we'll come around, and as soon as it hits that activator rail, it rotated the cart, as you can see, bing, 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 which causes anything in the cart to be knocked out. Oh, I forgot I was in creative. Okay, and now we're moving on. So I don't know why I'm going through that, I don't have to. We now have iron trapdoors. It's made with 4 iron ingots, yields you 1 iron door. And just like an iron door, you cannot open it by hand. It has to be open with a redstone signal. We also have the dogs. Looks like it's smoking. Now, if you have wolves or dogs, they will chase skeletons. And at one point, it would be the skeleton would shoot at the dog left, right, and center. Now, the skeleton runs scared. So, give him a second. Oh, look, he's mad at him. So now the skeleton doesn't defend himself quite as much as he used to. Dog turns rabid. Fun game. Alright, let's see. Alright. Next, we're going to come over here. We also, with the slime blocks, now you can use them with a piston. And if you use them with a standard piston, they do not stick to the piston. However, they do stick to other things. So if we have here, we have a sticky piston. As you can see, it sticks fine to the slime block. Another thing is here we have a sticky piston with a regular block with the slime block on top of it. And you might think that the slime block being pulled down by this guy will bring the slime block down, but if you thought that, it's wrong. The slime block has to be the one pulling in order to do it, but slime blocks can pull other slime blocks, and it can pull blocks. So as you can see here, it's pulling the whole stack. Wish I had a bigger screen. Now a slime block can move 12 blocks, so just like a regular piston that can push up to 12 blocks, slime blocks can attach and move 12 blocks. Some things you need to be careful of is if we have, let's just do this real quick. If we have, let's say, a sticky piston right here, we want to put our guy right here, and a slime block right here. This is not even going to work. Now, if you're wondering why, the reason is because this slime block is trying to push this grass block that's underneath it, and it can't push more than 12. Now if we were to, let's see, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we were to move that one, I don't think that'll move. Let's just double check. Oh, actually it does, because that was 12 exactly. So as you can see, it was trying to move that. Now if you run into a situation where you want a slime block to be on the ground. You have to clear out space under it. The only other option is blocks that are not movable with a piston. So things such as a furnace will work. You could put a furnace down there so you don't have a hole. And as you can see, it won't move that. Obsidian is another one, and the various other blocks. So you can use your slime blocks. So you'll see, right? Obsidian doesn't move. However, if we put that there, it does move. Oh, and it makes a cool slimy sound when it pops. I forgot to say that. See, listen. Okay, so anyway, here we have 6 slime blocks attached to 6, what are you, andesite, polished andesite, and this will move just fine. But if we even stick one more, that exceeds the piston pushing limit. Now, as you can see here, you can do all kinds of crazy things. You can have them connected up like that. But once again, because this guy is moving down and trying to pull a slime block does not pull like that. So this can lead to some really cool things. I used furnaces here just so nothing would stick, but as you can see here, this what is it, 10 block door is just using 2 pistons. Check that out, 2 pistons for the whole thing. But as you can see, I had to be very careful and put furnaces down so I wasn't trying to move the ground. And that's why furnaces are here, because it would try and move those. So you do have to be a little careful with them. Now, another thing here is that this is an old bud switch. The one we all grew up loving, you know, you hit when you change the block in front of it. You know, took all this stuff. This is a new bud switch. Pretty compact, and then of course you can have something like, if you want this to trigger something when that red block goes, the redstone block goes up, it could actually lead somewhere. Now, a little bit more on the slime blocks is here we have 2 pistons, right? And we have, I didn't give him a name, but he's our test subject. And over here we have a slime block that's our test subject. Now, weight, I believe, is considered with this, but just as we could jump off our platform there and bounce up, if you stand on a slime block that's under a piston and push the button, it shoots you up. As you can see, our item went a lot higher than our dude, and it bounced a lot more. So you can use these as creative ways of getting up places. Alright, moving right on. Oh, this is going to be a longer video. Sorry about that. Alright, so our next thing here is the Guardians. And when you kill a Guardian, these are the new mob, water mob, that spawn at the, people call them water temples, but they're actually water monuments, sea monuments, something like that. And if you want to see one of those, this is a flat world, so I don't have any here, but if you want to see one of those, you can go check out my video. I think I said Something Smells Fishy is the subtitle of it. It's a snapshot video. But anyway, so now we have the water guardians. They are hostile towards squids. So here we have a squid and him, and as you can see, he's shooting the squid with his little laser. Now, the laser that comes out of his eye doesn't hurt until it turns yellow. So if you're getting shot by one of these guys, you definitely want to make sure that you block his line of sight before that turns yellow. Otherwise, you'll take damage. Also, when he moves, his little spikes go in, and you can hit him with no issues. But if those spikes are out like they are right now, and you hit him, you take thorns damage, so you get poked. They are very, very fast in water, so if you hit one while you're underwater, they swim away very fast, get some range on you, and then use their little laser eye on you. So watch out. And like I said, they do not like squids. And they might not be too bad up front, but man, when you get a pack of these guys, they'll rip through your health really quick. And they naturally spawn all over the water monument. Now, like I said, when you kill them, you get a chance of fish, prismarine, or prismarine shard, prismarine crystal to prismarine shards. Now, what you can do with those is prismarine crystals. You can't make them. This is just showing you what they look like a little better. But you can use the prismarine shards and crystals to make things like the prismarine itself. So a prismarine block is simply 4 prismarine shards, and that yields you 1 prismarine block. Now, cool thing is this actually is changing color. These lines right here, as you know, as you can see right now, they're kind of purple, and now they're fading to more of a greenish color. So it's kind of an animated block. It's really kind of cool. You can also use those things and make prismarine bricks. So if we do 9, we get prismarine bricks. And that's of the shard. That's of the shard too. And then, of course, to make your dark prismarine, which is this kind of bricky, tiled color, it's 8 prismarine shards like a chest with an ink sac in the middle, and it makes it nice and dark. Next, we have the sea lantern, and this is also an animated one. This works as a light. So if we go, let's see, can we do it here? Let's see, do we say it anymore? Light block is 13. No, I don't think that's telling us. But yeah, these act as a light or a torch or glowstone, whatever you want to call it. But they're also animated. You can kind of see the circle emanating out. And this is simply made by 4 prismarine shards and 5 prismarine crystals. Now with all the sea stuff, we get the depth strider. Because one thing, when you get near a sea monument, you get mining fatigue, something fierce, where it takes forever and a year for you to be able to, oop, wrong button, for you to be able to break a block. So some things that help, one is this depth strider. It's an enchantment that you can find a book with, or find a book. It only applies to boots. Oh, wrong button. I was trying to right click it. Looks like an ice cream sandwich. But this makes it so you actually can move underwater at a decent speed, kind of like you're just on land. Now we've also, in the previous version 1.7, we were given coarse dirt. Well, it was actually just called dirt, but it was uncraftable. So we now have a crafting recipe for it. It's 2 gravel and 2 dirt, and that gives us coarse dirt. Now here, unfortunately, you can't. There. I was hoping that this dirt wouldn't cross sideways, but as you can see, it's a darker color. It looks a little more dark blacks and stuff inside of there, represent the coarseness. But grass, mycelium, or other types of blocks that have something on them will not spread onto this. Now, if we take, that's another thing I forgot. One thing to note is you can hoe this, but, oh, actually they changed it. So the first time, it used to be that you just hoe it, it instantly turned into the land. But when that farmland gets broken, it turns into regular dirt. So now it looks like even when you just hoe coarse dirt, it just turns into regular dirt. All right. Our next thing is, in our water monument, we have these guardians, right? All around. There's elder guardians that are like 3 times larger or so. They're like huge. And I don't have one here, unfortunately. But they kind of do the same thing. They're kind of a whitish color instead of all this bright colors like these guys. But they're really big. And they're the bosses. Now, I believe, I want to say 2 to 3 will spawn in a temple, and as long as they're alive, you'll have mining fatigue, which means you can't dig through the temple very quick at all. But after you kill the bosses, then the mining fatigue will go away. You can drink milk to help negate the effects of the mining fatigue too. All right, so moving on, the bosses, the Elder Guardians, will drop sponge. Also, throughout the temple, you might find rooms of wet sponge. And as you can see, sponge has been in the game forever. It hasn't done anything. But now you have two types of sponge. You have a regular sponge and wet sponge. And the wet sponge kind of has this, it looks a little darker because it's all wet, very damp. And also, you can see the dripping animation if your particles are on. So that's what those two look like. Now, it used to be, that guy's wrong, it used to be that you could just stick wet sponge into a furnace and put a bucket under it, and it would yield you a bucket of water and one dry sponge. That does no longer work. So now you don't get any water from these guys. You completely dry them out. Now, cool thing about sponge is it cleans out or dries out, and I think it's a 3x3 area of water. So if we hit this right there, it sucked it all up. Yeah, I think it's about that. So as you can see, you can use these to get rid of water and stuff. And the only way to get the water out is to dry it. Dry it out. All right. Next, we're going to come all the way down here. We have bunnies. Now, the first bunnies they put in the game, there's 8 total skins. Hopefully I have them all still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm missing. Apparently, it's still glitchy in the game because I had like 8 sheep in here, and they keep kind of, when you log out and in, they'll phase through the fence if they're right against it. So we have 6, 7. We're missing one. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's a grayish color one. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, we got him. I didn't see him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. So there's 8 that will spawn naturally, and then if you use a name tag and name one Toast, you'll get this special one. Now, when bunnies first came out, they didn't have these cute little pink noses or the little tiny tails, which is just helped them. And bunnies, from what I last read, but I've heard other people saying things, you can no longer tame these guys. You can breed them using carrots, dandelions, seeds. I think that's about it. Let's just double check. It used to be where you had to let's try that. Oh, holy cow, did you see that? Oh, they love carrots. So if we do that, are those two gonna breed? Yeah, there you go. So there you go, and you get the tiny little bunny. Isn't he cute? But you can use that. Golden carrots, I believe, too, but why on earth would you want to use a golden carrot? I think seeds and dandelions were the other 2 flowers. So you can see here. No, maybe can't. Oh, yeah. He's using. Oh, those 2 already did their breeding. And I think, was it seeds? No, they're not very interested in seeds. But yeah, you can't breed them anymore. Now, as cute as they are, sometimes you might want to kill your bunnies. And if you kill them, you can get raw rabbit, you can get rabbit hide, and you can get rabbit's foot. The rabbit's foot is actually a rare drop. It used to be pretty common, but now it's pretty rare, and there's a reason for that. So what we can do with rabbit hide is if we take 4 of them in our crafting area, we can get 1 regular leather. They're a lot smaller than cows, so you need more of them to make a real leather. Also, you can cook the raw rabbit and get cooked rabbit. You can arrange. This is not a this is a shaped recipe, so you pretty much have to follow it. You do a carrot, a baked potato, cooked rabbit, a mushroom, and a bowl, and you get rabbit stew. Now, this is just under the saturation and food that you get from a golden apple, I believe it is. However, it's really expensive because, I mean, a carrot will do two hunger. That'll do 3. That'll do 3, I think. And, well, mushroom doesn't do anything. But this will fill up 5 of your meat pops, or 10 hunger points. Oh my heck. Now we're going to talk about this guy right here. There's a 1 in 1,000 chance that this dude will spawn, and he's the killer bunny. He actually spawns with this name tag, and he is hostile towards you. He does not like you. If you've ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, there's a reference, the bunny of, I can't remember, something like that. But he is hostile. Let's see if he can attack me through a fence. Game mode 0. Hey, bunny. Oh, yes, he can. So in easy mode, he hurts you for 5 health points, 8 in medium, 12 in difficult. And as you can see, oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show. If you watch the hearts, when you first take damage, now it shows you really quick for a second how much damage it takes. Just kind of a little thing there. But yeah, he's not a very nice guy, is he? Oh, he's going to kill us. Alright, so let's jump back into game mode 1. Now he can't hurt us. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the rabbit's foot and what you want to do with it. And if you can't tell by this guy right here, you cook it. So if we, in our potion stand, if we brew up nether wart, if you do it with regular water, it just gives you mundane, like most things, other than, I think, the spider eye gives you potion of harming. But if you do your nether wart and then rabbit's foot, you get a potion of leaping. You hit it with some glowstone, you get jump boost number 2. Potion of leaping 2, I guess, or jump boost. So that's what it does. It gives you jump boost. Gunpowder, of course, it does have those variants where you can do a splash potion, then hit that with glowstone, and it turns into the other. And then number 2. So there we go. That's what you use those rabbit's foots for, rabbit feet, whatever. Now here we have some volunteers. Well, they weren't very happy volunteers. And now when you kill sheep, not only do you get wool, you also get mutton. And for those of you who don't know, this is actually old, but if you name a sheep Jeb with an underscore, you get these multicolor changing sheep. But it is good to note that if you shear it, you actually only get the color of the original sheep. You don't get a multicolored piece of wool. That'd be cool, but you don't. So anyway, with sheep now, you get a drop of wool and mutton. And that ranges, I think you only get 1 mutton, but you still get the possible of, what, 2 or so wool. I don't know. You can take the mutton and throw it in your furnace and cook it up, and you get cooked mutton, which is very, very yummy. Alright, so that covers those guys. Now we're going to get to some of the more recent snapshots that we've been having. Let's get rid of this stuff. Holy cow, this is a long episode. I apologize once again. So here we now have banners. Oh, I didn't put my how to make it thing. Silly me. So for what we got there, let me just show you how to make it real quick. And we need, I think that's all we need. Oh, no, I want to do this. Grab a bite one real quick. They stack up to 16. And let's see, put that there. You make it just like a sign, except for use wool instead of planks. So just like that, you'll do 1 banner. And you can use all the colors of wool to get all these fancy colors. And you can also do patterns. So a banner will let you overlay 6 patterns on top of it. And so you can get fancy things, kind of like our ugly thing right here that I was just showing. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm just going to go through each of these chests really quick to let you see the patterns. I'm not going to go in great detail, but so here we have a bottom stripe. We do that just with 3 ink sacs. Now, some also, it's good to note that some things here, if you use ink dyes or whatever, not ink dyes, just dyes or lapis or whatever, any of the things that yield color in the game will do the same. So if you put a banner and then 3 ink sacs underneath it, you get that pattern. So I bet you can't guess how that pattern's done. If you said 3 above, you're right. All right, and the middle, of course, right there in the middle, stripes on the sides, da-da-da, pretty easy. Now some of the things, we'll talk about that when we get over there. There's the middle, right there, a stripe down the side. So where you put the banner, from what I've seen, is not important as long as it's there. So here we have 3 diagonal there, 3 diagonal going that way, stripes, and these are all the patterns I know of. I don't think I'm missing any. So to get stripes, it's just 4 ink sacs. They don't go all the way down. Just 4. And the banner, an X like so, a plus, just like that. If we want the half triangle, it's just 3 ink sacs at the top, 3 ink sacs on that top, so on and so forth. If you want any of these, just pause the video right here. I'm going to open each chest just so you can see each recipe, and then move on. Now this is different than this right over there. That's only the top piece, top third. This is half, so takes a lot more ink. And of course you want dots, 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 more dots. Triangle at the bottom, triangle at the top. We got these fancy little, I don't know what they're called. It's kind of like doing the triangle at the top, but you actually put the thing at the bottom with the flag above it. And then that one, just the opposite. Now a circle in the middle, just a dot, a diamond, just like so. Now if you want to do a border, you go ahead and do a banner with ink sacs all the way around. A gradient, this one's a little trickier. It's kind of like this Y shape with the banner inside the Y. Same here, upside down Y with the banner in there. Like I said, you might be able to move the banner anywhere. That's just how I do it. Then we have this fancy shape here. Now this is where you don't necessarily need the ink sac to get black. Okay, if you want to experiment, try it without the ink sac. But this will actually yield the banner, and I think almost all the rest of them don't need the ink sac for black. But if you want red, you'd have to put red dye. So this is simply a vines and a banner. If you wanted it a color, you'd need the ink sac, or you'd need the dye. This one's made with just bricks and a banner. Once again, these ones, these two right here, we're going to talk about when we get right there too. So for the creeper face, you just use a creeper head and a banner. To get the skull and crossbones, it's a wither skull and a white banner. Does not work with the skeleton head. Then we have this fancy little sunflower thingy, which is an oxide daisy and the banner. And then we have the Mojang symbol. This one, only people really bored will probably build this one. And that is with a golden apple. This is the one that you have to have 8 gold blocks and an apple in the middle, not the one that's ingots. So very expensive. And then we have just an ugly one that we made, but there's a reason for this. We're gonna grab one of these dudes, and if you have a cauldron and you say, oops, I messed up, like I said, these are layered, so anything you do is, all layered. So if we do this and we right click in the water, oh wait, I'm in creative still. If we right click into the water there, you'll see it takes off the uppermost layers. So the skeleton was the first one, and it uses up one of our water you know how these yield 3 bottles of water or 1 bucket, so it uses up 1 of the bottles worth. When we do it again, as you can see, we have just the gradient and the X, and again, and now of course our cauldron's empty, so we can't do it. Now if we break these, we get them back. If we want to copy them, we can. All you have to do is simply take, oops, I had 2 of those. All you have to do is take one that's yours that you want to copy and put a blank banner into it, and it actually gives you it'll actually give you 2 of them. So see, if we take this guy here and that guy there, we get 2 because we get our original one back. Alright, now we're going to talk about mob heads. So we already know how to get wither skeletons. Now what we're going to do is go back into game mode 1, and we are going to put a creeper down here. Now the way you get mob heads is if a charged creeper explodes, it will give you a mob head. So we're gonna put a zombie, maybe a couple zombies. Actually, I probably should have put them in after. Let's do this real quick. SUM summon LIGHTNINGBOLT. First, we've got to charge our creeper. Oh, that wasn't it. LA. How do you spell it? It might not be light. What? Oh, it might. Oh, poop. Alright, well, that's why we're not gonna put him out. So this should not kill. As you can see, it did not kill our creeper. But if we, we're gonna add some creepers in here, maybe some skeletons. Oh, that's a ghast. That was terrible. I grabbed the wrong egg. Stupid. Oh, I grabbed that instead of that. Alright, so we're going to add some skeletons in here. And now if we cause this creeper to explode, or get him to blow up near other mobs, as you can see in here, we have a mob head or 2. So it looks like we got a zombie. So anyway, that's how you get, oh, and it blew up that. So anyway, that's how you can get mob heads in the game. The hard part is getting a stinking creeper to get charged or hit by lightning. Whew. Oh man, this is going to be a full hour on this thing. Alright, and our final things here, we'll cruise through these, is we now have a nighttime sensor. Same thing as daylight sensor, except you right click it to turn it on and off. So basically you make a daylight sensor, and all you do is right click it to invert it. Over here we have, probably should change back to game mode 0. I should probably heal too. Actually, let's do this. Well, we'll be good. Alright, so now it used to be breaking watermelon with anything took forever. It's now fixed, so when you use an axe, it goes relatively fast. And speaking of food, and that's the same thing with ladders. Ladders now break at a much faster rate with an axe, where they used to take a lot longer. We also have we have armor stands. So as you can see here, oh, we don't need the head. You can put armor stands here, and you can put items on it, like so. The way this is created is you use 6 sticks and 1 of any of the variants of stone slabs. So it could be, in my last testing, I believe I double checked, and now you can actually use sandstone also. But that will give you 1 armor stand. You can place your armor stand in any of the 8 directions. So as you can see, they face out. Also, they are kind of like an entity, so you can break them, and as you can see, it's kind of like item frames and stuff where it intersects with something. So, and it didn't break when it hit the torch like sand, or not sand, gravel wood or something. So anyway, there's your armor stands. They can also be put into a minecart. And all the redstone here is just to slow it down, because it was just going really irritating. Then we have sandstone in the red variety. So we have sandstone, which is made simply with 4 red sand, gives you 1 sandstone. You can make smooth sandstone, just like regular smooth sandstone, by taking 4 red sandstone, and you get 1 smooth sandstone. Stairs, same thing. 4 sandstone, or 6 sandstone. I was looking at the 4. You get 4 stairs. Slabs is the same also. 6 slabs for 3 sandstone, and you get this fancy new chiseled sandstone, which kind of has a wither. I think it's the wither boss is what it's supposed to look like. I've heard it called all kinds of things, but I think that's what it's actually supposed to be, is the wither boss. And that's 2 redstone slabs, gives you 1 of those. We also now can colorize our beacons, and it's still a little glitchy when you look up it, but as you can see, using colored glass, you can get the whole range of colors. And I was just messing around and got this, but yep, just use colored glass and you can get nice colored beacon light. We already had doors, however now it's good to note doors stack up to 64. I thought it was 16 at one point, but I think they increased it. And making doors yields 3 doors now. So where it used to only give you 1 and it didn't stack, you now can stack. We also have doors in all the variant woods, and they all have their own little look. So here we have dark wood, acacia, jungle wood, birch, and spruce. And there are also gates and fences for each of these colors of wood, which is awesome. So I think that's about it. No recipes have changed. It's just using the color wood to get it. Now actually, that brings up an interesting question. What if we were to go into game mode? I wonder if you use multiple wood, if it'll just always give you that. So let's try this real quick. We have a crafting bench right over here. I could just grab one real quick. There it is. So if we were to do 1 of each, I'm thinking it'll just give you a oak door. No, actually it won't give you anything. Oh, that's good to know. You can't mix and match anymore. Let's see. So if we did maybe all but 1. No. Oh, that's kind of a pain. Can you do with slabs and stuff? Nope, you can get the trapdoors. So yeah, I guess if you want the item, you have to have it. That's good to know. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this. I know it went really long. In fact, I think we're just bordering on 60 minutes, which is insane. But there is so much that has been added in this this release. Although we're not even to the release. It should be released, I think, next week on the 2nd. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this. I put a lot of work into it. I'd love it if you help me out by clicking the thumbs up button down below. It helps me tremendously. Oh, I got a yawn. Sorry about that. But if you did enjoy this, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.